coming tonight is Bryce, 33, 3 miles away. I've used dating apps for a lot of weird things. I mean, I know I was giving that guy flack for messaging me in that manner, but I've also used dating apps for weird things. In the pandemic, I was quarantined without a kitchen for a month, kind of a long time. And I was like, how am I supposed to eat dinner? Then I had a genius idea. And in my Tinder bio, I wrote out, DoorDash me food and I'll send you my quarantitties. I almost got, I got so much food I actually got banned from Tinder. You know how Kim Kardashian said nobody wants to work anymore? I had my own small business. I was making that work. I actually have a whole list of the guys that sent me food and what they sent me. It was very lucrative until I was banned for solicitation. Very rude. Very rude. No, I was just trying to eat dinner. I don't. Where did they get off? Luckily, I'm a businesswoman, women in STEM, you know. So I discovered another website where you can sell pictures of your feet. So that was the next business venture. But then I go on. Am I getting a thumbs up for that? Awesome, love that. But then I go on the website for selling your feet. And it said, please price your photo based on the number of toes in the picture. I was like, I'm not going to do all that. Tit pics for a quesadilla, that's okay. But counting my toes for a sexy photo, that's where I draw the line. You have to draw the line somewhere. But I got ahead of myself. I was going to tell a story. It's a little gross. Can I tell a story? It's a little gross.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm a bit of a clearly reformed, you know, done some wild things. Now I'm pretty normal. But in college, I went on a date with a guy from England. But then he had like a friend in town and he was like, it's okay if my friend is coming. And I was like, sure, let's, you know, all drink together. Does anyone know what Sambuca is?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I did not until this evening, but I had 10 shots of Sambuca. I was 23 or something. Now we go back to the house and, you know, we go to sleep. And I thought that's all that happened. When I leave in the morning, I noticed that there was a trail of bright orange vomit all through the house.
Oh.
So I go back in and wake up the guy and I was like, hi, is there cleaning products? He helped me clean it up. It was really nice. Has anybody been to San Francisco?
Yes.
Do you know Lombard Street?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the world's curviest street. And I you know, I had 10 shots of Sambuca, so I didn't know where the Airbnb was that I ended up, and I still didn't know until I was in the Uber going down the world's curviest street after my 10 shots of Sambuca and the trail of vomit through the house. And so I'm sitting there like, okay, I can do this. It's okay. And then the Uber driver chooses that moment to be like, I just started beekeeping. Do you want to look at my videos of me beekeeping on this iPad? And I'm sitting there just trying to hold it together. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But it is interesting, you know, that I feel like, I mean, that's not, that story isn't quite about dating. It's just about something that happened. But the dating in San Francisco, the worst thing that did happen was, you know, they would talk too long about their startup or whatever it is. And then I go to Vegas and it's Nutella on the 6-pack and, you know, doing things on Christmas Eve. But yeah, lots of different adventures. One time I actually in Vegas, I went on a date with a French guy. We went to a Cuban restaurant and from Tinder. And it wasn't until we got to the restaurant that I realized that the French guy didn't really speak much English. And that's okay, but I don't speak any French. So I was like, okay, we're gonna do our best, right? So we sit down and the waiter comes over and he goes, yeah, did you guys want anything to eat or drink? And the guy goes, he just pats his stomach and he goes, food. And I was like, okay, cool. It's going to be fine. We got this. And then the waiter came back over to be like, so where are you from? And he said, he said France. And the guy said, Paris. And he said, no, Marseille. And like made like a face. I went, Paris. And he said, oh, you don't like Paris? And then he goes, no, it's kind of like the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers. I was like, you didn't know how to order a drink, but you can do that. Okay. But you know that. That was completely lost on me because I don't sports at all. I try. I went into a pizza parlor and was trying to make friends with the guy working there one time, as you do, and he was watching a football game, and I was like, "Oh, is this your team?" And he goes, "Yeah, we had a tough season. We're just trying to rebuild for next year." Like he was talking about a natural disaster and not college kids throwing a ball at each other. It's very silly. I also don't. Speaking of things that a lot of people like I don't get, like sports. I also just don't get astrology. Whenever someone is like, "What's your sign?" I'm like, "It's my sign to leave the conversation." Except there is one exception. If I look at all my exes I've had that have done crazy things or had to get a creative contact name, they're all the same zodiac sign. Does anybody have a guess what the sign might be?
Pisces.
Scorpio.
No, do I have one more?
Virgo.
No, they're all Geminis.
Oh, worse.
Every single one of them is a Gemini. And I ended up getting drinks with some guy last night and offhand asked the zodiac sign, and he was like, "Oh, I don't really know. I think it's a Gemini." And I was like, "Why? How do they find me?" But yes, this 22-year-old Cuban guy that owes me money, he's a Gemini. I'm not into astrology like that, but I think I have to start asking ahead of time. Yeah, the French guy in the day. I work in a hostel. Do we know what? Well, I did. I don't now, but I worked in a hostel. Did we know what a hostel is?
Yes.
Yeah. It's very shared accommodation. If you don't know, it's usually bunk beds in a room and that you share. But the one that I'm in or that I was in is a bougie hostel. It's like a pod hostel. Imagine what a pod is. It's like if Erewhon made coffins and stacked them on each other and put them in the kitchen.
Oh,
and I sleep in one of those like a bougie vampire bat. But there's a lot of interesting things about working in a hospital. For one, it's hard to date. The first thing people always say when I show them the picture of the Erewhon coffin is they're like, can you have anyone over? I'm like, no, because you're on top of someone else's Erewhon coffin. It's not going to work. But I've had a lot of run-ins, like interesting things that happened when I worked at the hostel. I had one guy who was from Turkey. And I asked him, I said, "Oh, nice to meet you. How are you?" And he said, "Turkey." I said, "Okay, that's fine." So then I was using the translator to check him in. And so backstory, so when people are swingers, sometimes they say they're in the lifestyle, and which I thought was sort of an American thing, but I'm checking him in and then I'm using a translator to check him in. And then I noticed at one point that his socks had pineapples. I said, "Hey, I like your socks." He goes, "Lifestyle." I was like, "Okay." You didn't know nice to meet you, but you did know that. All right. That's cool. But yeah, Grace, you mentioned how guys say, weird things to you to start on dating apps. And then there was really a guy that started a conversation with me by asking if I wanted to lick Nutella off his abs. I do make him sound like the weird one, but I did invite him to my house. I never tell that part. I make him sound like he was the weirdo, but I was like, "Sure, come on over." It didn't end up happening. But people say crazy things to me in public in general on dating apps and also just in public. Does that happen to anybody else? People that you don't know?
Yes.
Yeah, it happens all the time. One time, how am I going to censor this? Okay. I was on a bus in college in San Francisco, and this random guy on the bus at 2 a.m. looked at me and he said, "Oh, I like your outfit." He said, "It's like you skydived in on a penis." That's what he said. Wow. And I was looking at him for some clarification. What the heck does that mean, sir? And then the only clarification I was given was, "If that's your game, I'm down." And, in school, they teach you a lot. They teach you if Dan has 9 watermelons and he's making a fruit salad for 50 people, how many pieces of watermelon does Dan need? But they don't teach you what to say if someone tells you that you look like you skydived in on a penis. And these are important things that I need to know. So I don't know what I said. Hey, Grace, how much time do I have left?
You have a minute and a half.
Oh, cool. Um, let's see. What else do I want to say? I used to work for a sugar baby dating site.
Oh,
Woo!
Marketing. I promise that it was in marketing. I used to work for a sugar baby dating site, and they have a wish list on a sugar baby dating site for things that the sugar baby wants the sugar daddy to buy for them. It's always things like shoes and purses and stuff like that. But if I had been a sugar baby, I either would have been a really bad one or a really good one, depending on your definition. Because if there was, a rich old guy buying me things, I would have wanted it to be things I really need. So I would have been like, well, I don't need a Chanel bag. What I need is a new pair of socks. I would have been like, can I have a portable phone charger? Can I have two? Because I will lose the first one. Anyway, thank you, Grace, for the time. My name is Jessica Denail. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Woo! Okay, here I am. Camera on. I'm back. Okay, I started. I forgot to click the stream live on YouTube, you guys. So, but Jessica's set was good. Mine didn't show up, which is great because I can do the same thing, the same material next time. Anyway, great job. Thank you so much, Jessica. That was the time. So next up is Kim. So you're next. Yes, I'm going to private chat you guys who's next. Okay, so make sure you check the private chat. So Kim, I've known Kim for quite a long time, and her Midwestern charm and filthy mind have led to comedy success all over Southern California and beyond. She produces Party On Sober Comedy Show. If you ever see her with a martini in her hand, run. Please welcome Kim Clevenger. Yay.
Hello, everyone. So good to be here tonight. What a crew. And guys, thanks for joining us, everybody online. Thanks for being here. And Jessica, thank you for sharing your stories. I feel better about my checkered past.
Good.
So Grace, the last audition I taped was for Walmart Granny.
No.
I wanted a sexy Walmart Granny 40 to 50 in a swimsuit.
What? Yeah.
I taped it. I mean, I'll do anything for $500. And I didn't get it. That's what really hurts.
Oh no.
But I'm sure there's like a site I can upload my big floppy boobs in a red swimsuit. Cash, right? I have ugly feet, Jessica, but I think there's probably a market for those.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to hear that the young D cost you a bunch of money. It's good sex has made me so stupid in the past. Only from like 16 to 50, like give or take a couple decades. I just had a birthday. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep the QR code for my facelift fund up after the show. I just had new headshots taken. There is nothing that will just mess you up. Oh, look at me, trying not to cuss. Mess you up more than looking at 600 high-resolution, close-up, unretouched photos of your aging face.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So it was. I'm gonna get my face done. If there's any money left over, I'll get my butt done too. It's starting to look like a basset hound. That's all. You gain and lose 80 pounds 10 times. It takes a toll. I'm just saying. The day after my birthday is actually steak and blowjob day. Did you know that was a thing?
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's on Urban Dictionary, so I think it's real. And, my hope would be that someone would buy me a steak dinner if I gave the BJ.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing with current administration, I would have to cook the steak and give the BJ. That's wildly unfair. So, anyone want to guess how old I just turned? Gerard, how old do you think I am?
54.
Oh, I was actually released the same year the Beatles released Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I hope that you enjoy the show. I'm older than 54, but thank you. Thank you for guessing younger and saving your own life.
I've been taught well by 2 ex-wives, yes.
I it's getting I had a comedy show on my birthday, and it was fun because 2 of my ex-boyfriends showed up in the audience at my birthday show that I got to roast.
Nice.
It's getting harder and harder to date older men. I know Grace likes older men.
Not anymore.
Yeah. She's had aversion therapy. It's getting harder for me to date men older than me because most of them are dead. But my two only surviving older exes came to my birthday show, Megan and Dave, who both have recently undergone open heart surgery.
My gosh.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? I guess dating me and losing me is a heartbreaker. Actually, maybe dating me was just so stressful that it took a toll on their tickers. Megan, my ex-fiance, was a theater-trained actor from Theater West. He gave me notes after my first comedy show.
Oh, wow.
He did. And he said, "Oh, Kim, I think you're going to be really good. Just keep working hard and really trying."
Oh.
The same things I used to tell him in the bedroom. Megan was an actor, and he actually went up against Mark Hamill all the time. He was up for Luke Skywalker in the original Star Wars and lost it to Mark Hamill, which I'm sure was even more painful than me calling off our wedding. I'm just guessing. Megan looked like Luke Skywalker when we started dating. Now he looks like Jeff Bridges in The Big Lebowski. But he's still my emergency contact. He's still my family. He's my good friend. Dave, the other ex, yeah, he's my doggy daddy. He dog sits. My other ex, Dave, showed up, and I dated Dave 7 years ago for 6 months, and we saw each other 3 nights a week.
Oh, wow.
I thought we were exclusive, but I'm bad at math. I left him 4 nights a week to bang other women. But I hadn't heard from him in 7 years. And he texts me out of the blue and says, "Hey, Kim, it's Dave. What's going on?" I was a casting director for 20 years. I was like, "Dave wants to be the Golden Bachelor. That's why he's reaching out to me." Oh. So I waited a week and then called him back. And he said, "Oh, yeah, some woman reached out to me about the Golden Bachelor. But that's not why I called. I want to come support you at your birthday comedy show." He couldn't support me when my mother was dying, but he could show up for my comedy show. He was late and I got worried because he just had heart surgery. I was like, can someone go to the bottom of the stairs and check and see if Dave is there? He's not here yet. But the best part of everything with Dave was he came up to me after the show and was like, what are you doing for your birthday? And I was like, oh, well, I'm doing this show. Megan took me to breakfast. Sharon's taking me to dinner tomorrow. Roberto's taking me shopping. He said, no, I mean tonight. What are you doing for your birthday? He thought we were going to hook up 7 years later.
No.
If I'm going to get some D on my B day, it's not going to be Dave. I'll tell you what I'm not doing on my birthday. So me and my dog Dilly were just on Cesar Millan's Better Human, Better Dog. I finally got a television series. Actually, my dog. Dilly got to be on Cesar Millan because he's a baller and a mauler. The name of our episode was called Love Bites. It's actually season 5, episode 9, if you want to check it out. Love Bites. And the producers loved that I hadn't had an overnight guest in 4 years since I adopted Dilly, because he would attack them at the front door. Yeah. So I thought the one man who would be safe in my house be the dog whisperer, Cesar Millan. He chewed up Cesar Millan too.
Wow.
What? Yeah, it was so embarrassing that my Chihuahua tried to eat an immigrant. I think Dilly likes Mexican as much as I do. Cesar said I was the problem. Kim, you are too tense. You need to relax. I was like, Cesar, I haven't had an overnight guest in 4 years. How can I relax? I thought maybe I had a shot with Cesar, but he dates Argentinian models, Grace.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
You dang Argentinian hottie. My dad sent me the sweetest birthday card. It was so sweet that I thought that my mom must have bought it before she died and slipped it in the nightstand or something. Her mother didn't buy this card. So my dad sends me this beautiful card, and he sent me $100 birthday check. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
He bought my brother a house. He paid for my brother's house, but I did get a very nice $100. My dad and I haven't talked about politics because he's conservative and I'm not. But he was so cute. So first, my dad was using my mother's Facebook account after she was dead and liking comments and commenting on posts. And my mom's best friend called me. Alita calls me and said, oh my God, Kim, your mom is reaching out from the great beyond. She liked a picture of my roses today. And I was like, that's Archie Bunker sitting in his recliner. That we don't need to call Tyler Henry to speak with mom on the other side. So when I was back home in Kansas City, I set up my dad's Facebook account for him. So he'd have his own account. Dad reconnected with all the people they used to dance with. They competitively country western and swing dance. And so my dad has been out 3 nights a week at 81 swing dancing and telling me all the ladies are after him.
Oh,
I bet.
I'd swear he was an LA guy. My dad's like, well, I look good, but all these women look old. Right, Daddy, right. But the other day he called me and he was really upset. He said, well, my friend Diana, we're good friends. We dance all the time. I really like her. I mean, she got mad at me. All I said the other day was, ain't you glad Trump put all those immigrants on 3 planes and got them the hell out of here? This 90-year-old little Diana was like, F you, Kenny, F you, F you. What? Why won't she talk to me, Kim? What did I do wrong? Daddy, I think she might be a little more liberal than you are. Diana might think you're a bigot. I'm just. I've been dreaming of cussing out my dad for 58 years, and Betty got to do it at 90. So maybe there's hope for me. Maybe there's hope. So I started bioidentical hormone therapy after I started comedy. I started comedy and menopause at the same time and couldn't remember my jokes. So I started bioidentical hormone therapy.
Wow.
That stuff works. It works. Pretty soon, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion aren't going to be the only ones who need a bucket and a mop up in here. I have the sex drive of a 25-year-old again. But dating me is like dating 2 25-year-olds. Did you know that testosterone is a controlled substance? I have to get a new prescription for it every month. And my doctor has to sign a release to get it shipped from the pharmacy that ships it. You all used to fling that at me all the time. And now I've got to get a special prescription and permission. I mean, I'm actually okay with I'm working on being okay with getting older. Mm-hmm. And here's my new affirmation. I get out of the shower. I look at my fully nude aging body in the full-length mirror and I say, oh my God, how could you be single? You're so hot. I would totally do you. And actually, I'm the only one who has done me. In quite a while. In quite a while. So what? I had a new one. What was the new one? Oh, I just got my hair cut. I don't think you've seen me, Grace, since I got my hair cut. I had long hair.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
So I just got my little French bob, and I've gotten so many compliments from women. Oh, you're my 1 minute, aren't you, Grace?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that went fast. Okay, fast, so men, here's just a quick tutorial on when a woman gets a haircut. What you say if you like her haircut is, I love your haircut, it looks nice. And if you don't like her haircut, you say nothing.
Yes.
My boss said, oh my God, what did you do to your hair? I like long hair.
Oh no.
Brad, you're old and married. I don't care. Don't say, do you like your hair? Don't say, do you regret cutting your hair?
That's crazy.
And definitely, like my ex Megan, don't say, it's cute. Is that a wig? It's not a wig. Anyway, thank you all for the 15 minutes. Thanks for coming out to celebrate some comedy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Grace.
Okay, give it up for Kim. Yay. All right. I love the applause. See, aren't they cute? Those little emojis. They're adorable. All right. So next up is Rosalie. And you've seen Rosalie playing the mom in over 300 commercials, sitcoms, and movies. And she shot Model Mom, a comedy special coming soon. Please welcome to the virtual stage, Rosalee Mayeux.
Oh, thank you.
You are welcome. Come on up, girl.
The only girl in LA that can pronounce my name, because she used to live in Louisiana too.
Mm-hmm.
So she's legitimate. That's for sure. Coming from down there, you do. Now, mostly, I tell people Mayeux in English is like bayou, and they will still get up there and go bio. And I don't know how that happens. Once in Arizona, I was called Rosalee Mu. So, just have at it, whatever you want to call me. Just call me. I wrote some fresh jokes today. Do you guys want to hear?
Yes, let's go.
Okay. I don't like school shooters because they all peaked in high school. If you have a problem opening pastrami all the way to trimming your hair, I mean, scissors are the answer to everything, especially if you don't like your neighbor. Dark moods today. I can't help it. I'm from the previous century, you guys. I'm from the century where when we decided to kill a president, we did it.
Yes, they say unalive.
Oh,
that's
unalive.
okay. That's okay. As long as I say it, YouTube will pick that up. Don't worry.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Unalive.
So
unalive. I didn't know that was
yes.
Because we're live on YouTube.
Yes.
What happened to the clean show? Okay.
Well, that's considered. Nowadays we have to be careful not to say those words.
Thank you.
It's so silly because they mean the same thing. But
no, I was just referring to clean versus dirty. This is dark.
Yeah, dark. Yeah, as long as you use that word, we're good.
Okie doke. Well, we're already done with that joke, so already canceled. It's okay, Grace.
Canceled.
You can't. It's like take me anywhere. It's true. It happens. I once was on a runway in Milan, and my agent called me afterwards and said, "You're fired." And I said, "It's not my fault. I had glue from the crazy glue that exploded in my face." She said, No, were you whistling on stage?
What?
See, this is what happens when you're from Louisiana. It's in you. You use your hands to take the ice ring out of the punch bowl. Y'all don't know what punch is. All right, never mind. I just got back from Alaska. I don't know who here has been up to Alaska. Anybody? It's amazing. It's the most gorgeous place in the world, I guess. The air is so fresh and clean. You can smell Russia. It's just an amazing place. I went there for a comedy festival, and when we were getting off the plane, there were all these videos about Alaska, and they were telling the same story this year as they were the last time I was in Alaska 25 years ago. They said, "Yep, see that? See right over there? That's mud flats. Don't ever walk out onto the mud flats. You will die. It will suck you in." We had a helicopter rescue just a few months ago where the helicopter went and put the rope around the lady's waist to try to pull her out, and we just snapped her in half. She just popped. And I thought to myself, 25 years ago, I landed in Alaska and they were telling the same story back then. They didn't have the helicopter in it. Last time it was just her husband couldn't make it in time and they both sank. I don't know. Look, in Alaska for entertainment, they just shoot bullet holes. Can I say that, Grace?
Yes.
They pew pew. Can you say that?
You're good.
Stop signs in Alaska have bullet holes all through them. Can I say pew pew holes? I don't know what I'm saying. But I went there to do this wonderful comedy festival. One of the shows that got the most applause was the underwear show. Can I say that? Okay.
Yes. I'll tell you. Look, I'll just tell you, and YouTube will be fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm joking, Grace. I don't care.
Okay. I don't want you to stress.
I'm not. I promise you, I raised 2 sons. Nothing can. That's a different thing. No, I have your neuropathy like in the brain after raising 2 boys, so it's fine. I don't feel anything anymore. But I went there 25 years ago to shoot a Toyota commercial. And it was amazing. I guess they got all the rights signed by the Parks Department back when we had them have officials there. So they got permission to land a Toyota from a helicopter onto a glacier and then drop the guy playing the dad, me playing the mom, 3 little kids, dogs and a sled on the glacier. The agency came, the director came, the photography all came, and we shot it. They said, you have 4 minutes to shoot and get off. Otherwise, you guys aren't dressed in proper gear. Your feet will freeze.
Oh my God.
You have to do this quickly. So we shot in 4 minutes, and the helicopters came back and they loaded the children and the dogs and their parents. And then the next helicopter, they loaded the director and the photography group and the agency. And there was 1 helicopter left for me and the dad. And we were last ones on the glacier. And the helicopter pilot turns to us and goes, I'm ex-Vietnam. Y'all want to go down in the glacier fissure? Now, Jerry's nodding, yes. I had just had a baby. He was 4 months old. The guy playing the dad had a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. And as responsible adults whose families were home waiting for us to not only bring home the bacon, but come back alive to raise them, we turned to each other and said, yeah, let's go down in the fissure. Yeah. And this crazy person takes us down into the fissure of a glacier, you guys. And it was blue and blue and blue and dark blue and turquoise and black. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm so old. It was before even flip phones, the cameras. We had no cameras. We had nothing with us. It just has to live in your heart. And until I have Alzheimer's, it will always be in my memory. I will never forget that until it all goes away. Then it's all like clean and shows on OnlyFans. Okay. I worry about Jessica. I worry about Jessica's dating habits. Listen, stay away from them. Whatever they are, the Geminis, are you crazy? That's like having 2 dates. That's like dating identical twins. That's like
I know.
Those people. Jerry, are you a Gemini? Steve, are you a Gemini? Good. Look, they're shaking no. 2 eligible guys.
Perfect. Well, 4, right? Gemini, yeah.
But I had a really good time going on those festivals. It's so amazing when they select you because they have over 1,000 applicants. And if you pay them, they take you. No, it's just a mission. I don't know how I got picked from there, but there is a correlation between Louisiana and Alaska. That all the crazy people, murderers, go up to Alaska from Louisiana. So I think some of my relatives might have found a home there. Louisiana is the only state that takes crime very seriously, even blue-collar crime, embezzlement. We found out that our governor was embezzling funds from the state and he was sent to the penitentiary. That's a great word, right? Penitentiary.
Yeah.
As if anybody does penance anymore, but okay, Lynn, never mind. They sent him to the penitentiary. And then when he got out 4 years later, they reelected him. They reelected him, y'all. This is Louisiana. He did his time. He paid his debt to society. They reelected him. He was so popular. I didn't give a damn. I once was hired by 60 Minutes. I had a girlfriend that was a producer, and they thought I was sneaky. Do I look sneaky? Would you? But they hired me to climb underneath barbed wire fences into certain companies that were storing things like chlorine and stuff that are very dangerous. And I said, sure. And so I went and bellied up to take photographs of how easy it was to break into these facilities. And that was a big story. And so they called me the next month and they said, we'd like to hire you again. Would you go down to Louisiana? And would you go down where the dumping is being done by all the companies into the Gulf of Mexico? Because back then we knew where the fucking Gulf was. I'm sorry, cut that out. Cut that out. Is there a delay?
I can't cut it out.
I'm sorry. The rest was all sexual. Mine's just words. I'm sorry. Okay. They don't mean anything, kids. Don't tell your mom on me. Anyway, they wanted me to go down there. And so I called some friends from high school and I said, guys, we're going to do a good thing. We're going to go down and work against pollution in the Gulf. We're going to take photographs in the middle of the night at these guys doing illegal dumping. And they said, no, we're not. They will pew pew you, Rosalie. We have a family and kids, and I guess they cared about their kids, and so they refused to go down and take any photographs with me of in Louisiana of the dumping. And I think eventually the dumping did stop. It does stop over time. They finally stopped it down there. I'm proud to say there's teenagers now. I don't know. Does anybody here know where glass comes from? What is glass made of? It's made of sand. And so these kids gathered a bunch of glass to return it to sand. And it's a huge effort by a bunch of teenagers who have formed a coalition to make sand out of glass recycling. And it's very exciting, except all my followers in Louisiana said, well, that's a waste of time. Just, well, I'm not driving 90 miles to go do my recycling down there by the beach. Nope, not going to happen. So I don't know how supportive all of my friends are, but that's just us old ones. I did some comedy shows down there. I went and did a tour, San Antonio, New Orleans, Lake Charles, and Rayne, Louisiana. And I hadn't been back to do comedy in a couple of years because of COVID stuff. And when I went down there, this was the first time I really discovered my roots. Do y'all have that fond feeling from where you're from and your childhood, even though it wasn't perfect, whatever? But it's just it just speaks to your heart like fried, greasy food. It speaks to your heart, right? And so I went down there and a girlfriend said, Grace and I share a cancer history. And so I went down there and somebody said, all the people who were praying for you only know you as a cancer victim, Rosalie. They don't really know your life story. And I thought, oh, well, I'm too old. That would take hours. I can't do that. I'd kill somebody. They had so much coffee trying to stay awake. It would be, this is too much. This is too long. Then I thought, well, maybe if I could just tell it like in 3 minutes, if I could just get it done. Like you're on a meter. Your car is running and you're on a meter outside. So I thought, well, okay, here we go. Let's go. I was born in an adoption facility in Shreveport, Louisiana. My mom and dad adopted me because they paid a priest $500. You could do that back in the day. You could buy children back then. So then I went from there to a little rice farm And then I killed a bunny when I was 3. So then I thought, oh, probably I shouldn't share that part. That's the unaliving thing again, even if it.
Keep going, keep going.
I'm going to have to stop. Anyway, my time is almost up, you guys. It has been so much fun. Thank you so much for the laughter and the hearts. It's been a blast. Thanks for having me, Grace.
Woo, thank you. Give it up for Rosalie. All right. Here we are again. All right. And we have one more comedian. And I met this woman, this lovely woman, very funny. I met her like a month ago, and I invited her to do the show. She got her start in Washington, D.C. She has performed all over the country, from the D.C. Improv to the Comedy Store, from theaters to empty bars. She's sarcastically optimistic. Please welcome Gigi Modrich. Did I pronounce your name correctly, Gigi?
You did great. You did great. Thank
Awesome.
you. All right. Well, thanks for sticking around, everyone. I appreciate it. In addition to being a stand-up comedian, I am also a bona fide romance expert. And
Woo.
you might be wondering, like, how did I become a bona fide romance expert? And let me tell you, it's because I've lived my life by my patented 3-2-1 approach. And that's 3 engagements, 2 marriages, 1 divorce, and 0 regrets. And you can too. You can too. But I do love. I love that feeling of falling in love. Who here remembers the first time they fell in love?
Yeah.
Like maybe you were in middle school, maybe you were in high school. You'd be in your classroom. Your crush would walk into the classroom. You'd feel butterflies in your stomach, your heart would race, and you'd get a little lightheaded, right? And that is what you thought love felt like. That was your childish understanding of love. And now we're all older, we're more mature, you know? And now we all know that is a panic attack, okay? Do not go for the person who gives you anxiety, okay? That is a bad match. It's a super bad match. But my first husband, it's kind of fun to reflect on that relationship. The very first gift my first husband ever gave me was a decorative ceramic wall hanging with an inspirational Winston Churchill quote on it. It said, "Never, never, never give up." Unless it's on a lifelong vow you made in front of God and your family, then maybe. Otherwise, don't do it. Don't give up, guys. Don't give up. But I do think about that relationship a lot. And I think the worst part about that relationship had nothing to do with my ex-husband. I think the worst part of that relationship were my in-laws. We're all adults here. We can all maybe admit in this small room that the worst part of any relationship is this interested third party that puts a thumb on the scale for their child. Okay. And so, but it was super sad, guys, because unfortunately, my ex-mother-in-law had a brain tumor.
Ooh.
That simply would not grow fast enough. I mean, this thing only grew during Thanksgiving and Christmas, ensuring holidays at her place, but never big enough to impair speech or mobility. It was a tricky little brain tumor. It was just a crazy, and don't worry, guys, she's still alive. I do still Google her obituary, and miraculously, 20 years later, she lives, people. So she's fine. Normally, this is the part of the show where a comedian would poll the audience and ask, how many of y'all have been divorced? But statistically, I don't have to. So, but it is interesting being a divorced woman. The media treats us like garbage. You never see a story about a divorced man, but you do hear stories about crazy ex-wives. All right. Like there's just, I once saw a headline that read, "Divorced woman dies alone in fiery crash." We get it. She was alone. Okay. But she did other things. Like I'm pretty sure she would have wanted to have been known for something else. But The only headline I've actually ever seen that has alluded to a woman's divorce status has been Capitol rioter arrested after ex-wife calls FBI. And like that headline, that just makes the headline. The fact that divorce makes that headline. It's like, some people say the best revenge is no revenge. But I think the best revenge is turning your ex-husband in to the FBI. Okay. So let's see here. I was young. I am young still, but I was young when I got divorced, and I loved love, and I deserved love, and I wanted more love in my life. I was only 35 when I got a divorce, and so I started to date people, and I started to date this one guy in particular, and things got very serious very quickly with this guy. And they got so serious. In fact, we actually had to have the talk early on. Do you guys know what the talk is? The one when you have a new sexual partner, you have to reveal how much debt you're in. Yeah. So I told him about my crippling student loan debt. I told him about my divorce debt, which was substantial. But most importantly, I put him on notice. I told him if anyone comes up to me and offers me $1 million to sleep with me, I'm going to do it. Okay? I'm going to do it. The student loans paid, down payment on the house done, retirement started. Okay? I'm going to do it. Okay. So this guy looks at me and he says, okay. He's a white guy. Okay. And then he told me that if someone offered him $1 million to sleep with him, he's going to do it too. And we looked at each other and acknowledged it. That says a lot about our self-confidence, that we both think we could command $1 million, right? That's a lot of confidence there. But I am in my 40s and I am childless. It's okay. I'm used to silence. I'm used to hearing the silence. I think I'm going to start saying I'm child free. I think that's how I need to say it. I just think the branding's a little better on that. But, you know, society likes to put everyone in boxes and put labels on people. And so society calls someone like me 40, no kids.
Oh, somebody's phone.
I don't know.
It's my ovaries. They're like, are you going to take the call?
If it was from a guy, I would have, and then I would have let you roast him, Gigi.
So society likes to put people in boxes, put labels on people. Society calls someone like me 40, no kids. Okay. And so while factual, while accurate, it sounds just a bit judgmental, doesn't it? It sounds like there's a touch of judgment in there. And I don't want to be called 40, no kids. What I want to be called is the ultimate environmentalist. Because the best thing I could do for this earth right now is not have children. So you're welcome. I do like to think of myself as 40 no kids the same way I think of myself as a grain brunette, you know, with enough time, effort, and money. It could be different, but I'm good. But I did get remarried in 2020. And, you know, I was with this guy for a little while, and we had dated, we moved in together, and we really built this life together. And in October of 2020, at the height of the pandemic, we decided it was finally time for him to have health insurance. So we tied the knot. It was very romantic. But I asked my new husband, this is the $1 million sex guy, okay? I wasn't going to let that guy go. But asked my new husband, I was like, are you okay not having children? Okay, I didn't say it like that. What I said was, hey, babe, instead of having kids, you want to have vacations? We've been to a few of our bucket lists, but as you probably already guessed, 40, no kids, married. Yes, I do have a dog. Okay. And yes, I do treat that dog like a baby. Yes, Kim, you know. And people with children will tell me, some people with children will tell me, dogs are not kids. Dogs cannot take the place of children. And to those people, I say, just let me have my little dog, okay? Just let me have this. You can have your useful uterus and your tax breaks. Just let me have my darling baby dog with her custom-made denim vest that had flown in from Australia. I thought you said you were an environmentalist. I am. You've never heard of a carbon paw print, have you? No. You're welcome. But I know it sounds like I hate parents. I don't hate parents, okay? What I hate is the gatekeeping that some parents do on emotions, all right? I've had some parents tell me, you'll never know love until you look into the eyes of your own baby. You'll never know joy until you smell the top of a fresh baby's head, get that newborn baby smell. You'll never know these things. And if that is true, the opposite has also got to be true. It's like, you'll never know hate until your teenage daughter screams, I don't need you anymore, Mom. You'll never know despair until you pack your children into the back of a station wagon and just drive it into a lake. You guys are dark. You're the dark ones. You laughed at those. So I am a millennial. I'm like right just as they begin. Just as we begin the millennials, I denied it for the longest time. I'd be like, no, I'm Gen X. No, millennial. So I am a millennial, which means I do not own a home. But I do have a financial planner, okay, guys, because someone has to tell me how to invest the chicken wings that I get paid in for doing comedy. All right. Good news is chicken wings are appreciating. They're going up, guys. So it's good news for all us comedians out there. But I have a financial planner. Arguably, probably don't need one. But if you don't have one, everyone could probably benefit one. You should probably get one because your financial planner will tell you how to achieve your life goals. All right. And so you might be thinking, Gigi, don't you mean financial goals? And my counter to you is this. This is America. Okay. Every goal is a financial goal. All right. So first time I talked to my financial planner, he asked me, he's like, Gigi, what is your number one goal in life? And this is when I was working in Washington, D.C. as a federal government worker. Yes, I was part of the thin red tape that separated you from fascism. So still am. Don't tell anyone, though. Don't tell anyone. I want to keep it that way. Hi, YouTube. So he's like, what's your number one goal in life? And I told him I wanted to, well, first of all, I said, I didn't want to tell you. I don't want to tell him. I was embarrassed. It was my dream. And he goes, no, you have to tell me. Because if there's a path, I'll put you on it. And so I told him, I was like, all right, my number one goal in life is to quit my federal government job, move to Los Angeles, and pursue comedy full time. And he said, I love that for you. What you got to do is save $50,000 to $75,000, move to LA, give yourself 2, maybe 3 years to make it, however you define success. And if you do, congratulations. And if you don't, come back to DC, get your federal government job back, and know that you at least tried. And I was feeling good. I was like, okay. He didn't laugh at me. He didn't laugh me out of his office. And so he said, what else you got for me, Gigi? And I was like, well, I only have one other goal in life. And he goes, all right. And I was like, I would like to one day own a home in either DC or Los Angeles. And he said, you got to ground your goals in reality, Gigi. You got to pick something that's achievable. You guys are great. Let me get Grace back to the stage.
Thank you, Gigi. Give it up for Gigi. Yay. Well, thank you, everyone. Everybody was so funny. I really appreciate you guys doing the show on Plausible. And thank you, Steve and Gerard. Thank you for being here, part of the audience. And we do this every month. And our next show is going to be on the 23rd. And we have an amazing lineup as usual. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. So thank you so much, you guys. And hopefully I'll see you next month, and I'll see you, the comedians. I'll probably see you.
Can I ask a question?
Soon.
Can I ask a question, Grace?
Yes, absolutely.
Would it be appropriate for me to make a suggestion? Because there's a lot. I heard a lot of cute stuff tonight. It was really
awesome.
Fun.
Yes.
And I've done a lot of studying of comedy. When I hit my 60s, age started to kick in, and I watched a lot of comedy and started studying comedians. And when there was one point in Gigi's routine where I expected a punchline that I didn't hear.
Okay.
And I'd like to suggest that, if I may. Is that appropriate?
Yes, please do so.
Okay, because there was a point in time when you talked about one of your exes, and you said you felt so rewarding that you could turn him into the FBI. That joke? Yes. I expected that punchline to be, it was so rewarding to turn him into a January 6th rioter. I thought there was a little more punch to that. Okay. Whatever. If you think it'll go,
No, I got it.
Just an idea. So, no, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I didn't know what to expect tonight. I sent a note to Grace that I heard you guys talking about the theme tonight, but I didn't read the advertising or whatever. So I was a little worried, a little embarrassed. All these women around here, and it's like, okay, what if my wife walks in and
where are you?
Women for,
This is like the OnlyFans comedy.
Yeah. Well, the trouble is, I mean, I'm not going to start a whole routine here, but I got back into comedy. Well, I started comedy a long time ago. I suppose I'll give you that. Okay. I literally had my big break in first grade. And I'm so glad that I remember this, because this is absolutely true. I did a stand-up routine in first grade, and I tell the story about little Johnny, and it's the new grade in school and the new teacher. And of course, you don't know what's happening. And every day little Johnny comes in and he puts a raisin on the teacher's desk, sits down. He's a good kid. No problems at all. But about 6 weeks later, he stopped. First day goes by, no